challenges that will be thrown to us continuously. And being a new program, being innovative in some sense, trying out things for the first time, we're going to face some of those challenges as we go along. So you would need to persevere along with us with the intent with which the whole idea was developed, right? So perseverance is something that I'm going to request again from all of you. The other thing important is focus. I can give lectures about how you should actually be not doing anything else other than just studying, but here the intent is to say that, again, this program has been specifically designed, so you should have the focus towards achieving the goals of yourself as well as the program. For example, the SHRM certification is something that you would definitely need to pay a lot of attention to, right? Because that's going to be the mainstay of the program. So you would need to focus, make sure you're not distracted from other things that are happening, and pay attention, prepare appropriately for the course, for the exam, and make sure you clear the exam, right? So this is significant because that's something that we are actually projecting to the outside world as a big advantage of this program. So I can sincerely request you to focus and achieve what you have set out here to achieve. You have picked HR as a career. I think you should pay complete attention towards getting that set right now. I think the last one, you are a pioneer batch, so everyone is going to be looking up at you as well as the institute. So by the way you conduct yourself this year as well as the next year, you are going to be setting a path for the rest of the PGDM-HR folks to follow. Now, unless you set that bar high, neither industry is going to look at us, nor the forthcoming batches of PGDM-HR are going to look up to you as a pioneer batch. So make sure you put in all the effort. You set an example for both the industry as well as the future batches of PGDM to look up for, right? If I've not scared you too much, please welcome yourself to the program. Wish you all the best, and I'll be interacting with you more as we go along, right? Thank you.
Further on these lines, I now call upon Professor Surya Mahadevan.
Okay, good afternoon once again. So this time I've waited for her to complete the introduction, and I'll take it a little slow this time. And in case the slides run ahead of me, you can stop me. So there are totally 7 institutes in the country which are AACSB accredited. TAPMI is one of them, and TAPMI was the second institution in the country to acquire the accreditation way back in 2012, and we got re-accreditation after completing 5 years in 2017. But what is AACSB? What does it stand for? What does it mean? What does it mean to the students? That's what we're going to cover in this presentation. So the expansion of AACSB, I think it is important that you guys understand it. Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business. That's quite a mouthful, but in very simple terms, what it means is the best of management schools across the globe have come together to form an association for mutual interest. Therefore, the best of schools are going to create their own benchmarks, and they're going to learn from each other. So that is what it means. So the way to read it is, that is what I did when I didn't understand what it meant, that it is an association of B schools to promote. Collegiate would mean interaction and mutual learning. Am I making sense? Is it clear to you guys? So AACSB aims to advance quality management education through accreditation, thought leadership, and various other value-added services. And AACSB is also one of the oldest and toughest accreditations. So the 7 schools which are accredited, you can see TAPMI is right on top, the second institution to be accredited. There are 13,000 plus business programs across the globe which are accredited to ASESB. So you have a quick snapshot of where these accredited institutions are in which part of the globe. So you will find that a large number of institutions are in the US and in the Western world, and there are less than 100 institutions which are accredited in the Asia or South Asia. So how does accreditation help? So let's look at that. The accreditation is basically a process where there is a self-assessment in terms of what is our process, what are our standards, and how do we go about designing, delivering, and measuring what we do. And then whatever self-assessment we make is reviewed and assessed by the other peers. Therefore, there is a certain benchmarking of our standards, there is a review of our standards with what is best in the world. So it builds our own credibility, it builds our confidence. So there is a learning of best practices from peer business schools, and ASESB is not a landmark or a milestone. ASESB stands for continuous review and continuous improvement. So it's not that I got ASESB and you can then rest on your laurels. The mandate is what are you doing next in terms of improving what you do. The other benefits of accreditation, there's a very strong brand statement, there's a very strong brand differentiation. You can see for yourself with only 7 institutions that are ASESB accredited. Obviously, TAPMI clearly defines that it belongs to the Premier League when it comes to the standards. The second one is it signals quality to all the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? It could be prospective students like you. Of course, join now, therefore you're students now. So it could be prospective students, it could be recruiters, and it could be faculty from other management institutions. Therefore, TAPMI signals quality by virtue of the accreditation. And then it also provides an opportunity for international recognition of our program. Therefore, if you were to go abroad and you want to enroll for your higher studies, that you have studied from an ASESB school is going to give a certain credibility and value to your degree. Okay, now there are 15 standards that ASB has laid out. I'm not going to go through all of them, but we will put them in 4 broad buckets. So the first one is relating to strategic management and innovation standards. The second one is participant standards, learning and teaching, and the last one is academic and professional engagement. So we have an articulation of all the 15 standards here, but in today's session, we're going to look at only the third segment here, which is learning and teaching, where I just want to articulate that the entire curriculum that is designed and the curriculum that is delivered is based on standards that have been defined. So we have what is called as an assurance of learning. Maybe I'm jumping a slide, and we can skip that when we come to that particular slide. So we have what is called as an assurance of learning. Therefore, for each, there is a program level goal and there is a course level learning outcome. Therefore, all the courses are designed with the objective of what do we want the students to eventually learn and take out after having gone through the course. Therefore, it is not about delivering something without having an end objective in mind. So for a minute, let me reflect on some of the other principles that are there, standards that are there. So the entire ASESB process starts from defining the mission of the institute. Therefore, all the activities that the institute does should start from what its mission is. Therefore, if we want to do an LADC, we'll have to see how does it connect with the institute mission. So the ASESB standard talks about connecting the elements of starting from the mission to the industry recognition or the eventual career advancement of the student. Therefore, there has to be a strong connect across all the elements. I was talking about the outcome-based learning, just elaborating on that. So we start with defining what are the program level goals. Then we have learning outcomes for each course. And then we have a measure or an assessment of how do we measure that the learning has actually been achieved. So we have rubrics or we have methods for assessing the learning of the students. Therefore, all the assessment that you go through, whether it is an assignment or a end-term examination, how the students have performed in terms of measuring the course learning outcome is being tracked across all the courses to eventually decide whether the program level learning or program level goals have been delivered or not. And just to complete the last one, articulating the changes that are planned in content and delivery. And once we measure what was the course learning outcome, whether the course learning outcome has been delivered or not delivered, then there is a plan that is made in terms of what didn't go right and what went well, and what is the program design or the pedagogy design that needs to be made to ensure that the course learning outcome is delivered more efficiently going forward. So we get to that level of planning, and the next time when the course is designed, it is designed with a view to ensure that the gaps in the previous review are plugged. So this is the continuous improvement and the continuous review that I was talking about. So I think one of the faculty was talking about the program learning goals as being part of the handbook. You can go through that. But since we have covered so much ground in terms of the program learning goals, I thought I'll just put it up on the board. So we have application of fundamentals. That is the first program learning goal. At the end of 2 years, all the graduates, irrespective of which stream you have chosen, it is expected that all of you will have demonstrated learning to achieve these goals. Application of fundamentals, problem identification and solution, integrative thinking, effective communication. Effective communication is something that we have integrated into the program learning goal starting this year, because the consistent feedback from corporate was the students who graduate from our institution, their expectation is a high order communication ability. That's what we have integrated into our program learning goal itself. Then ethical responsibility, and the last one is leadership. So accreditation, it basically integrates all we do. It starts with the mission, and then alignment of the strategy, the strategy flows from the mission, and then there is a strategy operation compatibility in terms of the program design, program delivery, and program review, continuous improvement. And in all that we do, there is a certain level of discipline and rigor in terms of what we want to test, what we want to measure. Okay, since we talked so much about TAPMI's mission, let's quickly recap. So TAPMI's mission is to excel in postgraduate management education, research, and practice. And then we have the methods by which we will achieve the mission by nurturing and developing global wealth creators, continually benchmarking against the best in class, fostering continuous learning and reflection, creating achievement orientation, creative interdependence. And then we have the value bonds, which is basically holistic concern for ethics, environment, and the society. Okay, I'm sort of done with AACSB. We'll move forward. We are now in pursuit of another accreditation, this time by the accrediting agency that is based out of UK. So we're talking about accreditation to AMBA. And we are, in the next slide, you will possibly see a little more detail in terms of where we are when it comes to AMBA accreditation. But when we get there, we will be the 4th institute to have the dual certification of both AACSB and AMBA. So where are we in our journey to get the AMBA accreditation? There are different stages in terms of securing the accreditation. The first stage is making a self-assessment application. Therefore, we sort of declare how we run our business, what is our curriculum design, how do we deliver it, what is our faculty sufficiency ratio, how are we engaged with corporate. Therefore, we do a self-assessment across several parameters. And then, based on the self-assessment, there is an acceptance. We have completed that first stage. And now we are on course to complete the second stage, which is going to happen sometime in August this year, when a peer review team from AMBA will come to TAPMI, and then based on what we have already declared and what additional information we will provide going forward, there will be a peer review, and then we would get the accreditation. Okay, we are also NBA accredited. Now there's some overlap across the different accrediting agencies. There are some elements that are common, and there are some elements that are different. NBA is an Indian body, and it is sort of mandatory to have NBA accreditation, and we are NBA accredited. One of those institutes which got accreditation for a full 5-year tenure in the year 2016. And since we are talking about accreditation and rating, a quick summary of how external, credible, independent ranking agencies or research agencies have ranked TAPMI. So what you have here is the latest ranking. I'm sure all of you have done your research and you know where TAPMI is when it comes to ranking by external agencies. So you have Business Today at 17, Outlook ranking as at 15, India Today at 17. So I leave it there. So broadly, most of the research agencies have ranked TAPMI between the 15th and 17th rank. We believe that we deserve better, and we're actually better on some very critical parameters, such as research, such as academic rigor, which probably are not the critical benchmark for the agencies which are doing the ranking. Okay, so I'm done. I'll see you again tomorrow morning. Bye.
We have now reached the final leg of the program. The highlight of TAPMI is that it is a highly student-driven community. And behind this drive is the number of committees who are working tirelessly for the good of the fellow students. The Student Executive Council and the Welfare Committee are two such student bodies which are in the forefront of all student activities. May I now invite Professor Amol Dhaigude, who is the co-chair for student activities, to give an introduction about the Student Executive Council and Welfare Committee.
I said good afternoon. Still with us? Lunch was heavy, I guess. Okay. So, I wish a very warm welcome to the batch of 2018 into TAPMI family. So, we believe in, I have a surprise for you. Are you ready for a surprise? Ready for a surprise? A good news. This is the last presentation of the evening. Okay. So for TAPMI students, surprise can be a quiz. So be prepared for it. So we believe in all-round development of our students. So along with excellence in academics, we ensure students' involvement in various committees, events and activities to help evolve them into managers. So there are 23 clubs and committees that cater to the different dimensions of student development. So you will get the details of all these clubs and committees in days to come. Today I am going to talk about only 2 committees. So can I have on stage my committee, Student Executive Council? Please give a big round of applause for ACC. These guys are working so hard so that this program is running smoothly. So this is the official logo for ACC, or Student Executive Council. So what does they do? So they act as a bridge between the student body and the administration in matters of general academic and individual importance, while ensuring that all guidelines are followed. The primary function of SEC is to facilitate the smooth functioning of all student activities in TAPMI. For example, coordination of the selection process of all committees, or acting as an official channel of communication with the student fraternities in other B schools. Moreover, these members of SEC serve as a student representative on the SPG, Strategic Planning Group, along with other senior faculty members to give a direction to student initiatives and the strategy of the institute. So this is one of the unique initiatives that students can represent and are on the SPG, that is Strategic Planning Group, and they can actually give their inputs for the institute development. So these are the current members of SEC. So we have the president, Mr. Ipsit, and you are seeing Ms. Radha, vice president, who was also the MC of the event. Then other members of SEC are Mr. Tushar, who was also the MC. Pradyumna was the MC, sorry. Ron, Pradyumna, He was the MC along with Ms. Radha, Garvit, Ayati, Brandon, and Ms. Christina. So I'm looking forward for you guys to be here next year, the same time. So can I have a huge round of applause for SEC? Thank you. So if you need any assistance on academic front, please feel free to contact these guys. I know there is a 45 days embargo, but they are still helpful. The next committee, can I have my welfare committee on the stage, please? These guys are unsung heroes. They are working always on the back end, and they don't get the credit they deserve. Yeah, come fast. This is the welfare logo, official logo. Yeah. Thank you. So, standing by its name with a unique motto, we care. The Welfare Committee strives to make a TAPMI home away from home. The areas covered under the umbrella of Welfare Committee are mess management, hostel management, organization of festival celebrations, medical issue, and student grievances. The particular activities that are falling under the mess and hostel management are projected on the screen. So they take care of issues like food, which you always crib, management of food vendors, deciding food menu or the price of the food, monitoring the quality of food and conducting routine inspections. In terms of hostel management, they take care of issues like room allocation, general hostel maintenance, laundry services, and operation of the NC, that is night canteen, which is loved by almost everybody in the campus. So we honor and enjoy a rich Indian cultural diversity. Here we celebrate all the festivals, including Navratri, Ganesh Festival, Onam, Diwali, Christmas, Eid, Lohri, and many more. So these guys take care of this celebration. They have an important role to play. For example, arrangement of special meal, the events that go along with the festivals, arrangement of DJ nights, which is again loved by student community, then coordination of overall entire operations of the event. So other areas of responsibility are there. I would like to highlight one important area, that is the 24/7 medical assistance. So if you visit KMC, that is Kasturba Medical College, you will find one or more of the welfare comm people taking care of their batchmates. So guys, this is your helpline or lifeline in TAPMI. And these guys don't get much credit for their work. This is a little undervalued team. So these are the few members. Rest of the member will join us tomorrow. So I'd like to introduce them. So we have with us Karthik, Parvati, Savita, Ankita, Akash, Siddharth, and Raj, who is the convener of the committee. So if you need any assistance in terms of hostel or food or health related issue, please feel free to contact these guys. Thank you. So I wish you a great stay in TAPMI. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We now come to the end of the day one of the induction program. Well, that was quite a loud applause indeed. Thank you. Yeah. I hope you all had a good time. We have a set of instructions that we'd like you all to pay attention to before we end for the day. So firstly, certain name sheets, attendance sheets have been passed to you all. If you haven't signed it yet, please remain seated until you all have signed it. Then secondly, for the parents, the Director Parent Connect is scheduled to be held at 6:30 p.m. at the Student Center in campus at TAPMI. Then?
There is transport facility arranged for parents too. So in about 15 minutes time, parents can have tea and leave for campus in the transport facility arranged. And then tomorrow morning, students are expected to report at the library, that is Knowledge Center, at 7:45 a.m. sharp. And tomorrow the program will be only for students. And one last instruction, please take all your belongings back. If you've got umbrellas and other things, please take them back. So this is Pradyumna.
And I'm Radha S. signing off for today. Thank you.
You saw what TAPMI does. This is something we started last year, is to have an interaction with faculty and the assembled parents. So this is a good opportunity for you to ask questions. I don't want you to please all faculty because we've done that, and I'm guessing that many of you were there this morning and you could, this afternoon rather, and you could see who the faculty are. But this is an opportunity for you to ask questions. You may have your own doubts. Some of you may be going back tomorrow, and you probably have not had the chance to speak to us. So we have just about all faculty, administrators, the placement chairman, the MIP chairman, the wardens, the dean administration. So I want this to be a really nice interactive session with you, and then we can have some tea together, and we can also talk during tea if you like. So I don't want to say much more, but I'm happy to pass the microphone to you, and you can shoot off questions, and I can direct the questions to the appropriate person. If it's something to me, I will answer. Otherwise, I'll direct you to the dean admin or academics or alumni chair or whoever it happens to be. Is that comfortable with you? Okay. So would you like the microphone?
Joined for PGDM-HR. I think this is the first time. And I believe today during the induction, they were told that their MIP is going to be 14 weeks. So given that this is a new course that you guys have started, I was just wondering, are you all going to help in finding placements, or do they have to do it on their own? So that was like the other students, I believe, in your MBA program.
Sure.
Yeah, that was the question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. TAPMI is the MIP program. The school, TAPMI actually brings the companies into the campus, and then there's a process companies follow, through which the students get placed. Now there is also a possibility that sometimes we may say to them, you can do self-sourced. That is, the student may have a very good MIP opportunity, and they can mention to us, sir, I have this company where there's an opening, I know the people, I want to do an MIP, and we may even go with that. So there are two routes, two possibilities. So generally speaking, the MIP is organized by TAPMI. That's the normal way that happens. But it is quite possible that at some point in time, it is possible that a student may not get placed because they have a number of opportunities, and they don't get through the opportunities, then they have to look at some obvious options. So the first answer is yes, TAPMI will organize, they don't have to self-source. But if they have an opportunity, they can mention to the MIP chair. Or in this case, because your daughter is doing PGDM-HR, she can probably talk to Professor Srini and say, sir, I want to do this opportunity, is this okay? And then that is a conversation that she will have to have with the program chair.
MIP? It's 14 weeks. Yeah, so it's a maximum of 14 weeks. It's not that, I mean, of course, based on our interactions with the industry, longer period is something that many of the HR leaders have shown interest in. So we have scheduled it as a maximum of 14 weeks, 3.5 months. And we're hoping that that will be the model that everyone will fall into. But we also have a model where we will still be with the earlier, which we don't want to actually attempt. We want to attempt because everyone, if it's uniform, it's much better. And plus for the industry, the company as well as the student, the time spent with each other is actually much better if they spend longer. So there is a fallback for 8 times also. That also option is there, but we are not really hoping to reach that level. Planning is always going to be to have everyone at 14 weeks.
A lot of non-profits and directors of companies. First of all, I should say thanks and congratulate all of you for a successful education program that we have conducted. And I could know the secret mantra of the success story of company. That is transformation, potential, and other ambition, motivation, innovation, whatever you are putting in the morning. So it is really, in fact, that is impressing us and our board also. But one question, sir, I would like to ask that after 9 months, when the student has to undergo the internship, for that internship, whether the institute helps us or we have to, as a parent, we have to arrange the internship for them.
No, so I answered the question that TAPMI will actually organize the internship. That is our responsibility. So we normally bring the companies together. Our job is to bring all the good companies into campus. And then the companies follow their own processes. So through the process, the students will get selected. So that is the general idea. So that process will start sometime in August, September. They will start to ask the profile of the batch. The batch profile gets sent to the companies. Then companies will shortlist. They'll say, we want to have a look at these students. They will come to the campus. They may do a GD. They may do a PI. So that process is handled in the MIP office. So the MIP chair was Professor Surya Mahadevan. His office will actually handle the entire MIP process. So without his knowledge, no company will come inside the campus.
The thing is that in the first year only the general management they will be doing it. The specialization they will only be doing in the second year.
That's correct. They like this happen in the second year.
So internship normally is down on the basis of the specialization.
The internship starts in the month of April. So for the MIP generally starts in the month of April, but they normally assess the person's understanding of the content and what they've done in the first 2 terms. Now they may be interested in finance, but not everything they're going to do the job would have been taught in the class. So there's also a lot of hands-on sort of learning that they have to.
Okay, thank you, sir.
The academic questions.
First of all, my compliments for the nicely organized program today morning.
Thank you.
And in fact, a similar question I had in mind that the companies which come for internship to select students, whether their preference is for students who already have some work experience or the students which do not have any work experience and they have come for this new program, they also get preferences by the companies, or what the preferences of the companies now?
Yeah, okay. I have recently taken over this particular responsibility, so I can't say that I know everything about what happens on the MBA process, but just to answer your question, the companies that come, they are looking at the student coming to their organization and working in a particular area which could entail some kind of a consumer research, it could be some problem that the company wants to solve. So there may be some companies which are looking for people with work experience, and there may be some companies who are open to taking a fresher. So it's not one rule that fits all, so it depends on what project the company has in mind. For both freshers and people with experience, both of them will get opportunities.
In addition to the companies which come in for MIPs, a lot of times these companies offer something called as pre-placement offers. So in case a student really outperforms in his MIP experience, his or her experience, then the company in fact gives them an opportunity to join them at a final placement. So effectively this results in having a job immediately after the end of the first year, if you look at it, which becomes an added benefit. And as Sir rightly put across, we will have companies which will look at someone who is experienced, but also companies which also look at students who are not experienced. So that's a classic mix. And in fact, I think you saw the batch profile in the morning today, which again had a mix of freshers and experienced. So that's how it would actually look.
So you already identified companies which internship?
It's extremely difficult because these are business requirements what a company comes out with. So a lot of times a company, say, for instance, came this year with a profile which was for experience, the next year they will come in with a profile which may be for freshers depending on their business requirements. But that keeps changing. So every business school always has a mix of experienced and non-experienced candidates. So the companies usually come in those things.
So you could get all kind of companies which are requirement for experience as well as freshers?
Yes. We in fact have a lot of companies which come for final placements which also give MIPs. So it happens on both the directions. We have companies which come for MIPs which also offer final placements. So the conversion is on either side.
Thank you.
सर मैं क्वेश्चन को आगे बढ़ाना चाहूँगा. मेरी डॉटर ने PGDM-HR में कर रही है अभी. तो जैसे इंटर्नशिप 3.5 मंथ्स की करने की बात हो रही है. जहाँ तक मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है कि इंटर्नशिप के इमीडिएटली बाद इसे SHRM का एग्ज़ाम है, तो क्या उसमें इफेक्ट नहीं आएगा? 3.5 मंथ की इंटर्नशिप के बाद इमीडिएटली SHRM का एग्ज़ाम देंगे बच्चे को?
The requirement is that the SHRM exam requires that 500 hours of the student have been in HR related work. So 400 hours is actually being covered by the internship and 100 hours we are doing the research project. Now students, there are only 2 windows in which the SHRM exam happens. So one happens in July and one will happen sometime in December. So before the student is ready for the placement, we want them to go through the certification exam. So it has to be within that window of July. So we are actually constrained by the SHRM process rather than what we would like to do. So what we're also doing is this internship of 3.5 months, we are actually requesting the companies to give some time off for students to prepare and then appear for the exam. So we are going to give support on those fronts for the students.
केवल कहने का मतलब ये था कि उस बीच में एनफ स्पेस रहे बच्चे के बाद में ताकि वो ऐसे तरह एग्जामिनेशन के लिए तैयारी कर सके।
नहीं, वो सपोर्ट तो मिलेगा, वो स्पेस मिलेगा। आई मीन आई एम नॉट वेरी फ्लुएंट इन हिंदी, बट उतना तो सपोर्ट मिलेगा उनको। हम कंपनी से बात करें जहाँ पे भी वो लंबा पीरियड के लिए इंटर्नशिप के लिए जा रहे हैं, उसमें वो हम ब्रेक का उनसे नेगोशिएट करेंगे। उस 15 डेज के आसपास उनको मिलेगा प्रिपेयर करने के लिए, स्पेसिफिकली एग्जाम के लिए।
थैंक यू।
श्रीनिवासन सर की बात पे कुछ 2 बात मैं ऐड कर रहा हूँ। देखिए, जब से बच्चा आपका शुरू करेगा पढ़ना, सॉरी कीप ट्रांसलेटिंग इन हिंदी एंड आई कीप बैक एंड फॉर्थ इन इंग्लिश। फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग the students in PGDM-HR, they will be groomed for the SHRM exams through a lot of inputs. In fact, we have made sure all the courses are aligned to the SHRM course itself. तो पहला तो हमने यही किया है कि पूरा जो हम लोगों का जो सिलेबस है उसको SHRM के साथ अडैप्ट कर लिया है। दूसरी चीज़, मतलब अब शुरू से ही आपका बच्चा उसको प्रिपेयर कर रहा होगा। दूसरी चीज़, जैसे प्रोफेसर श्रीनिवासन जैसे बता रहे थे, विद इन द MIP 15 दिन का बच्चों को ब्रेक मिलेगा जब वो SHRM एग्जाम दे सकते हैं। तो पढ़ने के लिए समय है, एग्जाम देने के लिए भी टाइम है। इनफैक्ट ही हैज इवन अरेंज्ड, ही इज इन टॉक्स विद SHRM, ही हैज इवन अरेंज्ड दैट वेयरएवर द स्टूडेंट इज, इफ ही और शी इज इन अ मेट्रो, दे कैन गिव द एग्जाम देयर इटसेल्फ, दे डोंट इवन हैव टू कम हियर। ओके, इवन दैट हैज बीन ट्राइड। तो इसकी भी वो कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जहाँ बच्चा है और अगर वो मेट्रो में तो वहीं पे एग्जाम दे लें, SHRM आना ना पड़े।
प्रिपरेशन की बात कर रहे थे, तो इस साल SHRM से एक्सपर्ट्स आएंगे अराउंड मार्च अगले साल में आएंगे, और स्पेसिफिकली 3 दिन का उनको कोर्स है तो हाउ टू प्रिपेयर फॉर द एग्जाम। तो इंटर्नशिप में जाने के पहले उनको ऑलरेडी आइडिया दिया जाएगा कि कैसे प्रिपेयर करेंगे, और वो फिर 15 डेज के ब्रेक में वो उसको अप्लाई करके प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं।
I would like to congratulate everyone here for the fantastic event this morning that you conducted. It was fabulously organized, and I would really like to appreciate the effort that the faculty and the students have put in that. Coming back to the question that I had, I'm here with my sister. She got admitted to the general PGDM course. So like this person, I don't know, I'm not familiar with the name, he explained about the pre-placement offers during the summer internship program. So my question is, if some student gets pre-placement offer during the summer internship program, and he's still not sure about, he would like to accept it down the line after the year because they have not chosen the domain that they are going to specialize in. It can be finance, marketing, any of it. So do they have an option after the second year, the final placements, that they can reappear for the new companies and give up the pre-placement offer?
Okay, I'll get Gurudhat Naik to answer. So this.
Most of the pre-placement offers are done by companies, and we have a categorization of companies. So we categorize them as platinum, gold, silver, depending on the profiles they offer and the packages they offer. So most of the PPOs that come in are usually from the platinum and the gold companies. There is a minimum CPC package that we expect from the company also. Last year we had an instance where we did get 56 PPOs and we accepted only 52. And the criteria here was solely on the package at that point of time. So in case the company offers a good package and a good profile, then we have to accept it. That's an understanding between us and the company. However, if a student wants to revisit, then we allow them, but then it's more like coming out of the system. So that's a call we allow the student to take, but the student then has to get out of the system. It cannot be that PPO is obtained and then towards the end we decide that we will not take it. It becomes too difficult for us because as an institute we also have to respond to the other side of it. That's another aspect we have to look at, right?
Yes. Please feel free to ask questions. If you have any questions on, scholarships or hostels, schools.
What about the curriculum for next year? Yeah. Program as a part of the curriculum. What is the process and how do you do it? What is the percentage of students you exchange? And with which university and whether you have